So here we are considering bivariate data, and suppose we are taking random samples corresponding to two random variables x and y, the paired observations x comma y. So let us take x1 y1 as coordinate, x1 y1, x2 y2, etc. x and yn. Suppose these are the paired observations corresponding to the random variable pair xy. Be the n sets of data corresponding to the random variable pair or the bivariate data x comma y. So let us fit or let us model this set of observations x1 y1 x2 y2 etc. x and yn using a straight line. Suppose the fitted straight line be y cap is equal to a plus bx. If y cap is equal to a plus bx is the fitted straight line, be the fitted straight line to this data. Then the exact values. Then the exact values are given by y is equal to this y cap plus some residual error. So we take this as a plus bx plus some random error. We denote it by epsilon. And our aim is to minimize this error. So we are minimizing sum of squares of residual errors corresponding to all the paired observations x1, y1, x2, y2, etc., x and yn. And that principle, that means suppose we are fitting a straight line, y cap is equal to a plus bx, so that it is the best fitted straight line. The best fitted straight line means that will have a minimum sum of squares of residual errors, and that principle is called the principle of least squares. So according to principle of least squares, principle of least squares, for a best fitted curve, here the curve is a straight line, sum of squares of residuals is a minimum. Sum of squares of residuals is minimum. So this is the principle based on we are finding the parameters of the straight line a and b. A is the intercept, y-intercept, and b is the slope of the straight line. And here the slope of the straight line also known as the regression coefficient, of y on x. Because here we are predicting the value of y in terms of x. So the variable y is called the response variable and x is called the predictor variable. Similarly, we can have other option. We can also predict x in terms of y. Then the straight line may be of the form x is equal to c plus dy. And we call that straight line as regression of x on y. And the corresponding slope is called the regression coefficient of x on y. And we can have another intercept. That intercept will be x-intercept. And applying principle of least squares to the best fitted straight line means we are finding the residual errors. So the residual corresponding to ith category, so ith observation, yi is equal to epsilon I is equal to yi minus yi cap. Okay, yi minus yi cap. xi and yi are the corresponding coordinates in the sample data x1, y1, x2, y2, etc., x and yn. So epsilon is equal to yi minus yi cap, that is yi minus of a plus ba into xi, and we take the sum of squares of this residual errors. So we call that as capital E, and expression capital E is equal to sum of the squares of that residuals, that is sigma I square where this I varies from 1 to n, is equal to sigma yi minus a minus bxi the whole square. So the whole square. So we can see that this equation number 1, here the coordinates xi and yi's are given and the unknown quantities are a and b. So we call this as parameters. So in equation number 1, or the expression for capital E is the sum of squares of residual errors or sum of squares of residuals. See that sum of squares of residuals is a function of both a and b. So we can apply the concept of minimization or optimization condition. That is, here we are minimizing, applying the condition for minimization of a two variable function. What are the condition? For minimization, we have to determine the extreme values. For obtaining that extreme values, we are equating the first derivative with 0. So by equating the first derivative, that means what are the possible derivatives? Here this capital E is a function of a and b. So we can find the partial derivative of capital E with respect to a and partial derivative of capital E with respect to b. So equating these two equations with a 0, that means dou E by dou A equal to 0 and dou E by dou B equal to 0, we will get two equations. And these two equations are called normal equations. So solving these two normal equations, we get the values of A and B. So that is the main idea in deriving the least square equation. Okay. Now differentiating this E with respect to the first parameter, say capital, A, dou E by dou A. What is dou E by dou A? Dou E by dou A means this right hand side is a function of A and B. So this one simplification will give sigma I is equal to 1 to n 2 times yi minus A minus bxi into the partial derivative of yi minus a dxi with respect to the parameter a. So that will be minus 1. Okay. And dou E by dou B, partial derivative with respect to B. Partial derivative with respect to B is again sigma I is equal to 1 to n 2 into yi minus a minus bxi into partial derivative of yi minus a minus bxi with respect to b. So the coefficient is minus xi. Now equating dou E by dou A, for obtaining the extreme points, we are equating dou E by dou A with respect to 0. Dou E by dou A equal to 0 implies we are equating the dou E by dou A with respect to 0. So we have minus 2 as a common factor. So this will be sigma I is equal to 1 to n. Sigma I is equal to 1 to n yi minus a minus bxi equal to 0. So that will give sigma yi is equal to, so splitting this summation notation to the three terms and transposing second and third term to the right. So we get sigma a plus b into sigma xi. Summation I varies from 1 to n. Here also I varies from 1 to n and I varies from 1 to n. So we get the first equation, that is summation over y, that is summation yi, sigma yi is equal to, what is summation over I is equal to 1 to n a, where a is a constant. That means we are adding n times this constant, we get na plus b into sigma xi, equation number 2. So we get one equation when we are equating dou E by dou A is equal to 0. See another equation, suppose we are equating this dou E by dou B with the 0, equating the partial derivative of sum of squares or residuals with respect to B equal to 0, that will give again from the above derivative dou E by dou B, what is the constant? We can take the constant minus 2 outside. So the minus 2 into the remaining sum is equal to 0 means the summation part sigma is equal to 1 to n yi minus a minus bxi into xi. So this quantity is equal to 0. See, as before, we are expanding this bracket and splitting the summation notation to the three terms and keeping the left hand side term as sigma xi yi summation over I is equal to, so what is the second term? Second term will be summation a xi. So we can remove the constant term a. So this is a into sigma xi plus b into sigma xi square. Okay, so that will be our equation number 3. Equation 3. So these two equations, equation 2 and equation 3, are known as normal equations for finding or for fitting a straight line y is equal to a plus bx. So you have to by heart these two equations. Summation over y is equal to na plus b into sigma xi, and sigma xi yi is equal to a sigma xi plus b sigma xi square. So these two equations are called normal equations. See, these two normal equations are simply linear equations in the variables a and b. Here we are considering these parameters as variable, and the remaining quantities are obtained from the given data. Compute 4 different summations: sigma xi, sigma yi, sigma xi yi, and sigma xi square from the given data. And substituting these values into these normal equations, finally we get two linear equations in the variable a and b. What is n? N is the sample size or number of paired observations. So by solving these two equations, we get the values of a. Using this a and b, we are writing a best fitted straight line. What is the best fitted straight line? The best fitted straight line will be of the form y cap. We denote it by the letter y cap. Y cap is equal to a plus bx. So y cap is equal to a plus bx is the best fitted straight line. So that, why this is called the best fitted straight line? Because this straight line is obtained, or the parameters are obtained, by applying the minimum condition for sum of squares of residuals. So that is the principle of least squares. So by applying principle of least squares, we are finding the best values of a and b, so that y cap is equal to a plus bx is the regression line of y on x. And using the same procedure or in a similar way, we can determine the corresponding normal equations and best fitted straight line for x on y. So the normal equations for fitting, so these are the normal equations. What are the normal equations? Say in the relation y is equal to a plus bx, simply apply the summation symbol. That is sigma y is equal to sigma a plus b into sigma x. And this sigma a is our na. And the second normal equation, how to obtain the second normal equation? Multiplying the first normal equation by the coefficient of the second parameter. Here, what is the second parameter? This is the first parameter a, and second parameter is b. What is the coefficient of second parameter? Coefficient of second parameter is x. So we are multiplying throughout by the coefficient of second parameter into the first equation. So this term becomes sigma xy plus this expression becomes sigma ax, or we can write this as a into sigma x plus multiplying with the x. So this becomes b into sigma x square. So this will be b into sigma x square. So this is the way in which we can write down the corresponding normal equations. So applying this same principle, we can derive the normal equations. So this is called regression of y on x. The normal equations to fit y is equal to a plus bx. So this equation is called the regression line of y on x, or predicting the value of y in terms of x. Similarly, what are the normal equations to fit? What are the normal equations? The normal equations to fit a straight line of the form x is equal to c plus dy. X is equal to c plus dy is another straight line. X is equal to c plus dy. Any suggestion? So in this case situation, we are treating our x as the response variable and y as the predictor variable, or we are changing the role of both x and y. Okay, any suggestion for normal equations? Hello?
Sigma x is equal to
So the first thing is just to replace the summation notation into the given equation. So sigma x is equal to sigma c.
sigma
What is
c
sigma c? Sigma c is our nc. Okay. Sigma c plus d sigma y. And second normal equation is obtained by multiplying the first normal equation with the parameter of the with the coefficient of the second parameter. Here the first parameter is c and second parameter is d and the coefficient of second parameter is y. So okay, continue suggestion. So we are multiplying the first equation with the y. So this becomes sigma
sigma
xy
xy
equal to
c sigma y
c sigma y. Okay, c
plus
sigma y plus d sigma y
sigma
square. Y square. Okay, so this is the second normal equation. So we have to by heart this equation also. This is the method by which we are computing the best fitted parameters for regression line of y on x and regression line of x on y. In this case, we have derived for a given set of bivariate observations x1, y1, x2, y2, etc., x and yn, we have fitted two straight lines, or we can fit it two straight lines. One is regression of y on x and another is regression of x on y. So we can have two straight lines, y is equal to a plus bx and x is equal to c plus dy. Suppose all the data x1, y1, x2, y2, etc., x and yn, all the data lying on a same straight line, then these two equations will be identical. That is y is equal to a plus bx and x is equal to c plus dy, both are same. For example, suppose we are fitting a data of the form y is equal to x. The coordinates are 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5. The equation of the straight line is y is equal to x. What is the regression of y on x? Regression of y on x is the equation y is equal to x. And what is the regression equation of x on y? That is x is equal to y. Both the lines are identical. So in that situation, y is equal to a plus bx and x is equal to c plus dy will give the same straight line. If there is a difference, that means some points are deviating from the true straight line or the best fitted straight line, y is equal to a plus bx and x is equal to c plus dy may not be same. And there may be some inclination between these two straight lines, and we can show that if we draw the graph, we can see that these two straight lines will pass through. Suppose this is the regression line of y on x and this is the another straight line, regression line of x on y. So these two straight line will make an inclination theta. Okay. First line is called the regression line of y on x and second is regression of x on y. And this theta will become 0 whenever there is a perfect correlation. Whenever there is a perfect correlation, that means the coefficient correlation is plus or minus 1. We can say that all the data points will lie on the same straight line. In that case, regression line of y on x and regression line of x on y are identical. Otherwise, we can see that there is a common point on both the regression lines. X is equal to y is equal to a plus bx or x is equal to c plus dy. And this point will correspond to, by solving this equation, we can see that these two straight line will intersect at the common point, and that common point will be x bar comma y bar. X bar and y bar are the mean values of the sample observation, mean of x coordinate and the mean values of y coordinate. These 2 points, these coordinate, that means x bar y bar is a common point on the straight line y is equal to a plus bx and x is equal to c plus dy. And using this principle, we can write down the regression line in another format. If we know the slope of these regression lines and we know the passing through point, both the lines are passing through the single points x bar and y bar. So we can apply the 1 point form. What is a 1 point form of a straight line? If we know the passing through point, say x1, y1, and the slope of the straight line is say m, then what is a 1 point form of the straight line? Y minus y1 equal to
m into x minus x1.
Y minus y1. So this equation is y minus y1 is equal to m into x minus x1. So using this idea, we can write down the regression line of y on x and regression line of x on y. So the passing through point, instead of x on y1, here we can replace it as x bar y bar. and that slope, and this slope is called the regression coefficient. So we can have two different types of regression lines. One is regression line of y on x and regression line of x on y in terms of regression coefficients. So regression line of y on x is y minus y bar, because the passing through point having y coordinate y bar, y minus y bar is equal to some unknown quantity, and we call it as byx. Actually, this is the slope byx into x minus x bar. See, this is the regression line of y on x, where this byx is called the regression coefficient, where this byx is called the regression coefficient of y on x. What is the meaning y on x? Y on x means we are predicting the value of y in terms of x. So it is called the regression of y on x. And similarly, we can have the regression line of x on y. X minus x bar is equal to bxy into y minus y bar. Bxy into y minus y bar. And bxy is called the regression coefficient of x on y, where this bxy is the regression coefficient of x on y. So these are the two notations, byx and bxy. So it's correlation coefficient. And that correlation coefficient is actually defined by Karl Pearson. So that is called the Karl Pearson's coefficient of correlation. Karl Pearson's coefficient of correlation. Karl Pearson's coefficient of correlation. So we can define Karl Pearson's coefficient of correlation. See, this is a coefficient measure, and we define the population correlation coefficient, rho of the two random variables x comma y, rho xy is equal to rho of x comma y, or we can use the suffix notation rho xy is equal to, it is the ratio of covariance by variance, that is covariance of the random variables xy divided by square root of variance of x into variance of y. Okay, this is the basic. You can see that this coefficient of correlation is a number which lies between -1 and +1. So -1 less than or equal to rho, less than or equal to +1. And we know that for positive correlation, the coefficient of correlation lie between 0 and 1. For negative correlation or inverse correlation, it can lie between -1 and 0. If the variables are uncorrelated, the coefficient of correlation equal to 0. So these are the properties we can infer from the value of correlation coefficient. And the next thing is we can find out the coefficient of correlation for a sample data, that is called the sample correlation coefficient. As before, the same definition, we can define this as sample covariance divided by square root of sample variance of x into sample variance of y. Okay, so we can use the symbol. Suppose Sxy is the sample covariance, and variance of x, that means variance of x, we can use a notation. So that variance of x is, suppose it is denoted by the symbol Sxx, into variance of y, it is Syy. So this is a definition of computation of sample correlation coefficient. And we can use a computational formula. By simplifying this expression, we can arrive at the computational formula for sample correlation coefficient, y square. So this is the computation formula. This is a simplified version of the above representation, Sxy divided by square root of Sxx into Syy. See, this correlation coefficient is obtained from different summations. So for the bivariate data, we can form sigma x, sigma y. sigma xy, sigma x square, sigma y square. And using all these summations, we can find out the correlation coefficient. And we can see that after computation, this will be a number which lies between -1 and +1. And one more thing, for numerically large data, for xy, suppose x values and y values are numerically large, then we can apply a transformation. We can apply the change of origin and scale. Suppose this is x minus a by h. For example, if all the x values are clustering about 50, then we can shift the origin to 50 by subtracting 50 from every observation. The magnitude of the observation reduces. Okay, and suppose after the subtraction of 50, suppose all the numbers are even numbers, then we can have one more reduction in magnitude by scaling down by 2. So that is x minus 50 divided by 2. And similarly, this is the general version. X minus a, that means we are shifting the origin to a and scaling down by h. So we get a new random variable, say u. And similarly, suppose the random variable v is equal to, again changing the origin to b and shifting down by k. Then we get two random variables u and v constructed from x and y. And the theory says that this correlation coefficient is invariant under these two transformations. So Rxy is same as RUV. RUV is equal to, so that RUV terms, same formula, that is n into sigma UV minus sigma u into sigma v, the whole divided by n sigma u square. N sigma u square minus sigma u square. See, this is summation u square only. It's not the whole square. Then second bracket, n into sigma v square minus sigma v the whole square. Sigma v square only. So that is advantage. So when we are doing a problem manually, this will be an advantage. That means we can shift the origin and scale down. That means we are reducing the magnitude of numerically large values of x and y. So we are reducing them to u and v and measuring the correlation coefficient in terms of u and v. And the theory says that these two values are identical. So Rxy. So after computation, the original correlation coefficient is Rxy. Rxy will be same as RUV. So this is another important point when we are doing problems. Rxy is equal to RUV.